Okay, hey everybody, this is Miss Gardner, and today our first flipped classroom video, yay, is over modeling inequalities. And it's kind of the same thing as modeling equations, except you can see right here I wrote down that equations are going to have a balanced scale because they are equal, and that inequalities are going to have an unbalanced scale because you have your signs, your inequality signs, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or greater than. So I'm just going to do one quick example because you'll pretty much catch on really quickly about modeling inequalities. So here we have an unbalanced scale, and on one side we have 4 times a number, 4 times x, plus 5, and on the other side we have 25. So this is kind of hard to judge here. Okay, so what you have to remember is a scale is kind of like a seesaw. Remember when you were kids and you were on the seesaw, and if you were up in the air, that means that you were lighter or less than. And that if you're at the bottom, you're greater than. So here's what we have to say. We have to say that because 4 times x plus 5 is lower or towards the bottom, that it's going to be greater than 25. Or inversely, 25 is going to be less than 4x plus 5 because it's higher on this scale. It's up in the air. So we would use that scale to write an inequality. 4 times x plus 5 has to be greater than 25. And then you would just go about your way solving this two-step inequality. So the first step is, here is your variable term 4x, and you want to get it by itself. So the first thing you have to do, we need to get rid of the adding 5. So we're going to do the inverse of adding 5. We're going to subtract 5 on both sides. And the reason we want to do that is because we want this to zero out, to cancel out. So if we add 5 and then subtract 5, it's 0. And you can say it, 0's your hero! And then you're left with 4x. Your sign is greater than. 25 minus 5 is 20. So now we have a one-step inequality. Now it's 4 times a number greater than 20. So here's x. To get x by itself, we need to get rid of the 4. So because the 4 and the x are multiplying by each other, the inverse would be dividing. So we're going to divide by 4, both sides. 4 divided by 4 would be 1. There's your 1x. Greater than 20 divided by 4 would be 5. So x has to be greater than 5. And let me show you how we would check on this. So x has to be greater than 5. So if I graph that on a number line, here's 5, and it can be anything to the right of 5. It can be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to use 10 because that's a nice example. So here's my scale. And I put 10 in. 4 times 10 would be 40. And then when I add 5, it would be 45. Would 45 be greater than or heavier than 25? Think about if you put 45 pounds on a scale. Would it be heavier than 25 pounds? Of course. That's why it's towards the bottom. That's why it's like heavier on the scale. So that's true. Now, if you use something that was less than 5, let's say 0, and we draw our scale again. And if we put a 0 in there, 4 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. So if you have that unbalanced scale, and you only had 5 on it, 5 wouldn't be enough weight to hold down the scale. So then it would flop and make it untrue. So that's why your answer, x, has to be greater than 5. So pretty simple. I'm sure you understand this. I just wanted to make the information available to you. And if you have any questions, remember in your WISC form there's a question. And just to summarize, 3 to 5 sentences, doesn't have to be a novel. And make sure you fill out all the forms, so the form will be in the link below the video. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Bye.